Alright, so look, frauds. They're everywhere you look. From the Nigerian scammers, to influencers, to Bernie Madoff. Alright, let me go on a little tangent about Bernie Madoff. This man saw that his last name was Madoff, and he took that shit personally, metaphorically, rhetorically, poetically, and theoretically. This man really made off with people's money, bruh. I mean, he did get caught, but still. That is wild. I always found the fact that he took his last name literally hilarious. But Bernie is not who we're talking about today. Today we're gonna be looking at 4 of the biggest frauds in anime, bruh. These niggas frauded their way up to some sort of position of power. Whether it's from straight capping, manipulation, pure luck, these niggas frauded their way up the ladder. And the first fraud we're gonna be looking at today is none other than Mr. Hercule Satan. Now, to any regular human that lives in the Dragon Ball universe, Mr. Satan is their savior. This man is a world champion and the best fighter that Earth has. But to all the Z fighters, this nigga is a fraud. And before I even start the Mr. Satan slander, right, I'm gonna say this at least. Before the Z fighters showed up, he was an actual world champion. Compared to any other regular human, Mr. Satan's pretty strong. And I never understood why the Z fighters never actually taught this nigga how to use ki. If they actually taught him how to use ki and actually allowed him to train, I truly think that Mr. Satan would either be on the level of Tien or even Krillin. But these niggas never actually gave him the chance. Bro, they some elf friends, not gonna lie. Especially Gohan, nigga. How you gonna teach his daughter to use ki and not teach him, who's a fighter? I should be calling your ass a fraud. Anyway, Mr. Satan is a fraud in every sense of the word. He has the entire population thinking he's the martial arts champion of the entire world. I don't know how him going up against Cell didn't expose him, but somehow they managed to save it. This man goes up to Cell, and he's standing there like, yeah, man, I'm just glad I got to set up my fucking VCR to record this shit when I whack his ass. He really thought he was gonna win, but okay. Bro, the announcer is hyping this man up like he was the second coming of Christ coming to save the world, bro. And Cell is just standing there looking like a cockroach with wings. Hey, low-key, they did this man dirty. They really said your perfect form is gonna look like a fucking cockroach. Anywho, bro, Mr. Satan takes his stance, looking like a fake-ass black dynamite, bro. Who drew you? But anyways, the announcer is still hyping this man up, and I'm still flabbergasted at the fact that this nigga brought his own fucking announcer. Like, bro, he really thought he was gonna win. The world is cheering this man on. Mr. Satan launches his first attack against Cell, and Cell just ate it like anybody thought he would. Trash ass kick, nigga, your shit was sweet. As usual, the announcer's hyping this man up, even though he did -0 damage to Cell. Mr. Satan continues attacking Cell and start throwing a bunch of punches and kicks. But did we expect it to do anything? Like, this was a joke fight that the animators threw in and thought it would be funny. And bro, this announcer is low-key getting on my fucking nerves with how much he's hyping this man up. Mr. Satan does a bunch of fucking attacks, right? And then he backs up and starts laughing like a deranged lunatic. After he's done laughing, he goes for a final attack and probably gets bitch slapped by Cell into a fucking mountain. And bro, look at Cell. He's posing. He does, bro, this fight is just a fucking interlude for him. And then here goes Krillin. Thomas, to be honest, Gohan, I was rooting for Cell this whole... Nigga! Cell wouldn't be in this position if you weren't being a fucking simp. Shut up! Anywho, Mr. Satan showed that he was a fraud to the entire world, and somehow they still didn't believe it. He continues being the martial arts champion of the world somehow. But everybody who's not a regular human knows he's a fucking fraud. The next fraud we're gonna get into is a literal fraud. This nigga's a fucking fraud, like, in every sense of the word. And this is none other than Reigen from Mob Psycho 100. If you have not seen Mob Psycho 100, let me give you a little tidbit of information. Reigen has a psychic business that claims to be able to exorcise spirits and ghosts, which all sounds dandy because, you know, in the world of Mob Psycho, psychics exist. But where the fraud comes in is that Reigen's not a fucking psychic. He's a regular ass nigga. He's a literal fraud. But when Mob catches a wind of this psychic medium, being a young boy with psychic powers and don't know what to do with them, he goes to this psychic to see if he can learn something. And Reigen, seeing some opportunity for some good old child labor and an actual psychic, he speaks a bunch of bullshit to Mob and got him to work for him. But hey, we're not forgetting, nigga, you're still a fucking fraud. Although one thing I can say about Reigen is he actually gave Mob good advice, and he actually cares for Mob's well-being. But again, let's not forget, this nigga's still a fraud. And what's even wilder is, he somehow managed to rope somebody else to work in for him. In the most current season of Mob Psycho, bro, this man has another psychic working with him. Which, how the fuck? You see, Reigen is one of these charismatic frauds that are able to bullshit their way out of a situation. Whenever a client happens to come to his clinic, He just throws salt on them and tell them that they're exercise, even though nothing actually happens. And he somehow managed to turn that into an actual fucking business, which is just baffling. Reigen is a fraud that actually succeeds. The next fraud we're gonna get into is a fraud by pure luck. When I first told you guys about this video, a lot of people recommended Sukuna, because you guys were calling him Fraud Kuna at that time. But in light of recent events in the JJK manga, Sukuna's not so much of a fraud anymore. So now we have King. King has somehow frauded his way with sheer luck into being an S-rank hero. Every low-level monster that encounters King runs away because of the sheer power that this man possesses. But in reality, it's just his heartbeat beating so fast because he's fucking terrified. King used to be a regular ass dude, but one day as Saitama was fighting some monsters, he got caught in the crosshairs and got those 3 marks on his face. But that wasn't even when the frauding began. It actually happened in the first episode of One Punch Man. So basically, after Saitama had killed Vaccine Man, right, King just happened to be in the area looking for something. And he trips and falls in the blood of Vaccine Man. And as he gets up, that's when the other unconscious heroes that were beaten by Vaccine Man also become conscious. And they see the scary ass nigga standing with blood all over him. So everybody just assumed that King destroyed Vaccine Man in one punch. And ever since then, this nigga's been a fraud. One of the funniest situations where everybody... This nigga's such a fraud, I can't do this without laughing. Alright, so look, when the Monster Association started attacking the Hero Association and there was a whole fight, right? King steps up looking over some of the strongest monsters. And Homeless Emperor decides to charge a giant fucking ball to wipe him out. But in pure happenstance, Zombie Man comes and take him out and attacks him before he gets to do anything. King uncrosses his arm, right? And he's thinking whether he should grovel and beg. Everybody else think he's gonna do a fucking attack or some shit. Man, this nigga's such a fraud. Child Emperor tells him to use his fucking ultimate attack. And King does the motion for the ultimate attack, right? Which doesn't exist. But in that same moment that he does the motion, by pure fucking luck, Goro comes in and takes out all the strongest monsters in like a fraction of a fucking second. And everybody just assumed it was his attack that killed everything. And the legend of King being a fraud continues. King is one of the most hilarious frauds out there, bro. Because his frauding is not even on purpose, man. It's just pure luck. He just happens to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. All the fucking time. Like, bro, I remember he was walking with Saitama and Goro goes to attack him. Saitama shit out of this. And Garo probably thought it was King who did it. So yeah, King is a fraud among frauds because he doesn't even try to be a fraud. It just follows him around. The next and biggest fraud that this video has to offer is of course from One Piece. And on God, bro, I could have just put Usopp here and nobody would bat an eye. This man's first introduction is him capping. Talking about something, he has a giant fleet of fucking pirates and a huge army. He is literally known on the island as a fucking liar. No wonder they made this nigga look like Pinocchio, long ass nose. Usopp is arguably the biggest liar in One Piece, but he's not a complete fraud. That honor belongs to Buggy the Pirate. Buggy, he's a failure. The first time he showed up trying to fight Luffy, this was pre-time skip, he took a fat ass L with like most of the villains that tried to fight Luffy at that point took an L. But again, Buggy already had a devil fruit. He pulled up being a complete ass and the Straw Hat crew, fucked him up and sent him to jail. Buggy was at Impel Down for God knows how long until Luffy showed up. And through that entire arc, Buggy capped his way into gaining a fucking crew. A bunch of idiots who thinks he's a genius. Don't even get me started on Marineford. This man went out Marineford and somehow got hold of a transponder snail and started his frauding journey completely. That man tried to play it out like he's the biggest threat ever. And when they cut off all the transponder snails, his was still active, which showed everyone what the world government was actually like. And bro, not gonna lie, that's a W on Buggy's part. Like, that was great. But the fact that this man frauded his way into becoming a Yonko will never get passed over my head. Because how? How the fuck did Buggy become a Yonko? I will never understand that. And to be honest, guys, if Buggy frauds his way into becoming the Pirate King, I wouldn't even be mad, because that takes another level of respect. To be able to fraud your way into becoming King of the Pirates is fucking wild. If at the end of the series, they announced that the King of the Pirates is not Luffy, it's Buggy, I would definitely I wouldn't even be mad, bro. I could have added so many more frauds in this video, but again, you guys know how I don't like making videos too long. But the frauds that I've talked about, you know, these guys are like top tier when it comes to frauding. Whether it's fucking luck, manipulation, or just, you know, capping your way to the top. But yeah, man, these 4 are the biggest frauds that anime got to offer, bro. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.